What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. I'm your host, Christian Proscia, and we're here for another episode of the New Era Prep Show. Big weekend in high school football across the state of Florida. Also, big news throughout the entire state of Florida on the college scene. We'll talk about that in a quick second. But FHSAA round one of the playoffs were here and they were spectacular. Thank you, John Rothstein, for the quote as always. Yep. Weekend one of the playoffs has come and gone. This season is flying by quicker than ever, breaking my heart. Seeing a bunch of great football over the past couple days, that makes my heart happy. So let's talk about it a little. No, we're just diving right into it today, guys, because we got a lot to cover. First off, game one, our opener of the playoffs, Spanish River versus Miami Columbus. Miami Columbus defeated the River Boys 56-8. Spanish River is eliminated from playoff contention now. Big evening for FAU commit Hector Chavez, linebacker from Miami Columbus. Scoop and score and a pick six, 3 TFLs, and another 5 to 6 tackles on the evening. Have a day, Hector. Very good way to get the momentum going into playoff football. Really starting off on the right foot, getting our Owl commits up and active. Then taking things over to Friday night. We had a bunch of great games. First game, St. John Paul versus Chaminade Madonna. The Nod Boys went on to win 63-0. Goldman versus Boca Raton. What a game for Boca High. Down big late in the game. I believe it was 21-0. Goldman had a very convincing lead, and then Boca just willed themselves into a comeback. Pretty much, I believe, scoring all 27 unanswered within the last quarter and a half of the game. Boca High, what a game. Congrats on the win, and congrats on fighting strong throughout the entirety of the game, never letting up. Next game, Treasure Coast versus Jupiter High. 27-0 victory for Jupiter High. Andrew Imbick, like I said on Twitter, I had him poised for a very good showing through 2-3 touchdown passes, I believe, on the day. Got to break down stats once again. I know he had 2 because 2 of them were to KJ Larson, who had a very nice performance himself. The big headliner out of Jupiter High came from kicker Brogan Wober, who kicked a state high on the year 59-yard field goal in the final moments of the game. That's right, 59 yards as a senior in high school for Brogan Wober. And if we want to take things even further, there are college kickers, there are NFL kickers who aren't hitting that. So very impressive showing by Brogan. Wherever life takes him, if he finds his way onto the college field, he's going to absolutely be dominating. Once again, with that golden boot of a leg, 59 yards, I still can't wrap my head around that. Or, like I said, whichever direction life takes him, if he just goes to enjoy his college career as a regular student and he finds his way to college game day, he's going to have one hell of a story as he's taking $400,000 out of Pat McAfee's wallet. Next game I want to talk about is St. Andrews versus Archbishop Carroll. Scotties win their first playoff game in over 50 years, 31-20. Big performance from St. Andrews, who's been a program that has been trending in the right direction over the past couple years, especially the past 3 years. Very strong outing for the St. Andrews Scotties. The game that I was at, Palm Beach Central versus Fort Pierce Central, 38-0 bout for Palm Beach Central. What a performance from Chance Routson. 4 touchdowns on the day, over 300 total yards. Palm Beach Central is going to roll through the playoffs. I do want to talk a little bit about Chancey. Absolute dog, was using his legs, was using his arm. Very good performance from Chance, getting all of his receivers in and active. Nedrick Bolden had a touchdown. Preston Parker had a touchdown. Mattis Gibson had a touchdown, but it got called back, unfortunately. Kamari Williams had 2 or 3 really nice catches. Chance was making college-level throws and just picking apart Fort Pierce Central's defense. Defensively for Palm Beach Central, Navy commit Brian Hall had a very nice showing. 2 sacks, multiple TFLs, and a forced fumble. Linebacker Antoine Sharp had a pick and 7 tackles, I believe. McCollins Innocent had a sack. And then in the secondary absolutely neutralized Fort Pierce Central's passing attack, having guys like Tiago Mendes, KJ Lebecca, and Lebecca, excuse me, that's how we say it, and Pedro Sufrant. Central's secondary was absolutely electric. My biggest winner out of Central's defense, though, was Cameron Dwyer. Cameron Dwyer was flying all over the field. His hat was pretty much in every play. Cam Dwyer had a very, very good performance last Friday night. Taking things up to Vero, where Vero defeated Lake Nona 21-7. Very strong performance from the Fighting Indians. Champ Mons had a very good performance, 2 touchdowns on the day for the true freshman. Taking things out to the New Era Prep Game of the Week for Evangelical Christian versus Cardinal Newman. Newman came out on top 51-0. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Kaz, please stop calling me. I'm on the air, bro. What a goober. Yeah, Cardinal Newman 51-0 over Evangelical Christian. Then going into the game, I placed my own bleacher bet. And by that, I mean I put a text in the New Era Prep group chat, and I gave a little bit of a spread for some betting, quote-unquote betting odds for who from Newman I think is going to have a very strong performance. One of those guys that I brought up was Jalen Brown. Said he was going to have plus 100 yards, plus 1.5 touchdowns. What did J-Bo have? He had 112 on the day in the first half alongside 2 rushing touchdowns. Give me that raise. I know we're not allowed to bet on high school football. That's definitely illegal. But let's just say I know ball. Taking things out to Lakewood versus Glade Central. Glade Central got upset versus Lakewood 14-7. Supposed to be a very, very good football game, though. Went down to the wire. Unfortunately, the year 1 of the Coach Hugabook era at Glade Central came up a little bit short, but a still very promising rebuild year for Glade Central. Taking things to West Boca, where they defeated Steinbrenner 42-7. Mason Mallory was wheeling and dealing, according to Dan. Dan was very high on Mason Mallory's performance. He was chucking the ball all over. Jaden Lockhart with a touchdown. Defensive back Jaden Broadnax with a receiving touchdown on offense. Way to go, nephew. That was something that I thought was funny. Mark Hannaford with the touchdown. All in all, once again, dominant win for West Boca. They're just going to run through their region. Mater Academy versus Atlantic. Atlantic defeated Mater 49-13. 3 touchdown performance from Teddy Hoffman. Lincoln Graff scores his 100th career touchdown at Atlantic High. Congrats, Lincoln. 4-year starter for the Eagles. We talked to him a little bit earlier in the year. Lincoln was an absolute dog this whole year, and 100 career touchdowns is more than earned and deserved. I don't know a lot of people that work harder than Lincoln Graff. Jensen Beach versus Heritage Plantation, 42-7 for Heritage Plantation. This was the Byron Lewis show, ladies and gentlemen. The 4-star running back from Florida State commit running back was absolutely running all over. 3 touchdowns on the night for him. Pahokee versus Chipley. Pahokee defeated Chipley 42-0 to get the first win in the Coach Lemons era of Pahokee football. South Dade versus Santa Lucius. South Dade upset the Santa Lucius Chiefs 48-13. Very, very unfortunate end for Santa Lucius' season. A lot of people had Santa going very far in this playoff push, myself included. Royal Palm Beach versus Wiregrass Ranch. Wiregrass defeats Royal Palm 42-7. Once again, another end to a very promising rebuilding year for Royal Palm, being able to make the playoffs for the first time in a very long time. They are building something special out at Royal Palm Beach. Coach Kenyon and his crew, what a staff. What a year for Royal Palm. Unfortunately, coming up short, but once again, they should hold their heads high on what has happened this year. Dillard defeated John Carroll 43-20. Somerset Canyons falls to Cardinal Mooney 55-27. Somerset did not go out without a bang. They even ran a Philly special type play, but once again, Somerset's season has been ended. The Benjamin School, defeating Northside Christian 42-20. 3-touchdown performance from NC State commit tight end Preston Douglas. Also had, I believe, 2 sacks and a forced fumble on the day. Very, very good performance from Preston Douglas. Phoenix Dangia is another guy that I predicted would have a very good weekend. 2 rushing touchdowns for the guy, 142 yards on the day. You had an all right day for yourself, Phoenix. But the game that I really want to talk about, Kings Academy versus Calvary Christian. I've said it multiple times. Kings has not been on the right side of this playoff rivalry over the extensive period of time when I've been affiliated with TKA. That changed on Friday night. Kings comes out absolutely banging. First we're going to talk about Joe Daly. 4 total touchdowns on the night for the lefty Lion. 3 on the ground, or 3 in the air, 1 on the ground. 300 yards on the night. Very, very good performance from Joe Daly. The biggest beneficiary of this game, Javian Jones, ladies and gentlemen. 11 catches, 225 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Javian Jones willing TKA into the upset that a lot of people had as an upset, myself included. I thought Calvary was going to come out on top. But yeah, Javian Jones, what a performance. I'm going to break down those numbers again because I don't think that you guys realize what I just said. 11 catches, 225 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. Those are Division I numbers, ladies and gentlemen. He took over this game, a legacy game for Javian Jones. 6'2", runs a 4.5, can jump out of the gym, and college coaches, this kid is still available. His phone is wide open. I don't know why we are not jumping on Javian Jones a little bit more, but this kid had one hell of a performance and has been playing like the county MVP for the entirety of this season and is still uncommitted with one Division I FBS offer. College coaches, hit his phone. He is available, and he is the next. He will be your Travis Hunter type player, being able to produce offensively and defensively. That is what Javian Jones will bring to your program. Unfortunately, I've tried so hard to get anybody that'll listen to jump. People are dying by their views for whatever reason, but I'm telling you, Javian Jones is a diamond in the rough, and he has more than earned his chance to play Division I football, and y'all need to jump on him, man. That's the bottom line. Another absolute dog from TKA versus Calvary, Levi Champion, linebacker. 19 tackles on the night, 2 pass breakups, one of which being the game-sealing pass breakup on fourth down in Calvary's red zone. Calvary tried to get cute, should have kicked the field goal. Guess what? Levi Champion's breaking up that ball, and TKA comes out on top. taking things down to Broward, I'm going to talk about a couple games. Miami Edison defeating Somerset Key 42-0. Archbishop McCarthy defeating Plantation in a real nail-biter 7-7-0 final. Not 72-0, not 7-2, 7-0. And then on Friday night, if Max Preps wants to load, my Wi-Fi is terrible. There we go. Immaculata LaSalle defeating Gulliver Prep 27-21. Miami Southridge defeating South Broward 37-6. St. Thomas Aquinas defeating North Miami 58-0. One of those scores being to FAU commit wide receiver Brandon Hoke. Blanche Ely defeating Coconut Creek 34-27. West Broward defeating Flanagan 34-7. Cardinal Gibbons defeating Carroll City 14-17. Miami Northwestern defeating Barron Collier 69-0. And then last couple games I want to talk about. Western defeating Palmetto 26-10. Miami Norland defeating Hialeah 39-7. Monarch defeating Homestead 28-21. And Piper defeating Doral Academy 33-14. Those were all of the games that happened over the past couple days in the FHSAA playoffs. We're going to talk about one more game, and this was the big kahuna of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Jupiter Christian defeating St. Joseph Academy 37-35 in the SSAA Class 5A Championship. That's right. The first state championship of the year is Jupiter Christian. Congratulations to Coach Baz and his squad. We're going to talk to Coach Baz in a little minute. Stay tuned for that because this is going to be a banger interview. Me and him are both excited for this segment. But Jupiter Christian, 37-35. 2 rushing touchdown performance from Gideon Douglas. 2 receiving touchdowns from wide receiver Caden Ayula, and 1 rushing touchdown performance from RJ Wilkerson. All in all, very, very good performance from the Jupiter Christian Eagles, and it's ring season in Palm Beach County, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, do want to wish my congratulations to Coach Baz before we get him on the show in the next couple minutes. I'm gassing him up more than he's going to want me to. Give him that Coach of the Year, man. Coach Baz, you've earned it. With the playoffs happening last weekend, last Friday particularly, this Saturday was Victory Saturday for a lot of teams in Palm Beach County. So I do want to just break it down one more time of who is moving on to this week's slate of games. We're going to highlight those games on Wednesday's episode, but I do want to just, once again, congratulations to everybody on an incredible regular season. It doesn't matter if you went 0-10 or 10-0. Congratulations on one hell of a year. If you made the playoffs, congratulations. If you first round exit, congratulations on one hell of a season. And then if you're moving on to fight for this week's slate, congratulations. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Thank you for letting us be a part of your story this year. But Victory Saturday this week, we've got out of 1A, we've got St. Andrews moving on. Cardinal Newman moving on. Out of 2A, we've got Kings Academy moving on. Out of, also out of 1A, Benjamin. So 1A is St. Andrews, Benjamin, and Cardinal Newman. Out of 2A is TKA. Out of 5A is Atlantic. 6A, West Boca. And then 7A, we've got Jupiter, Boca, and Palm Beach Central, and Vero Beach. And then finally, out of the rural division, we have Pahokee. Those were all of the wins from this weekend slate of games. We are moving on to next week, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned for coverage of that. But we are going to take a quick little break here on the New Era Prep Show. When we come back, Coach Baz will be on the show, and we're about to have a banger interview. Stay tuned. Yep. Whoops, I was muted, ladies and gentlemen. That one was on me. Welcome back here to Bleacher Brothers Sports Network. I'm your host, Christian Rocha. I'm joined here with Coach Baz from Jupiter Christian. State champion, Coach Baz. How does that feel to hear that, Coach?
Man, it feels amazing, man. Been working 16 years and just grinding and just putting our head down. And I always look forward to an opportunity like this. And now I can call myself a state champion. And Jupiter has another one on there. Gives us 3 in the school's history. And I'm excited about what the future holds.
Coach, what a year for you guys. From straight out the gate, you guys were clear as title contenders for this year, and one of that biggest reasons, was a dominating performance from your senior leaders, especially Gideon Douglas, Shane McMillan, and Caden Alula. Especially, I want to highlight those guys. So let's talk about the legacy that this senior class is leaving on the program. What is the impact that they're leaving?
Well, Gideon Douglas is the most decorated player in our program's history since I've been there. I mean, the kid's been in the program for 6 years. I've been there for 6 years. He's been on varsity for 4, but I saw the talent when he was in 7th grade, and I knew he was going to be a special kid. This is a kid with 3,000 all-purpose yards and over 60 touchdowns in his career at Jupiter Christian. Shay McMillan came in this year, having transferred in, has 1,800 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, and he filled some big shoes with our quarterback leaving last year. And Caden Alula is only a junior. He's a junior that has 800 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns. And let's not forget about R.J. Wilkerson, who ran for 1,000 yards and another 15 touchdowns rushing. So the impact that they're leaving, these seniors been with me for 4 or 6 years now. They've just been putting down the groundwork and the foundation, and now they're leaving it. And they have a banner that they can put up and something that they can be proud of every time they come back for a basketball game. When they have their families, they come back 10, 15, 20 years from now, that banner's going to be hanging there in the gym.
I do want to talk a lot about. We're gonna talk a lot about this running back room. Like you said, Gideon Douglas has been in the program since you've been at Jupiter Christian. He's been, in my opinion, the definition of Mr. Consistency, banging off 1,000-yard rushing season this year. How important was it for you to be able to secure that for the seniors, being able to get that state championship win, especially with them falling short? I believe it was their freshman year, right?
Yes, sir. We had 2 years back to back where we made it to the semifinals. That was freshman, sophomore year. And then their junior year, we lost first round to U School, who just made it to the championship game as well. So having said that, those guys wanted to go out on top. They made their commitment. They had their goals starting the season, and we knew it was going to be a tough grind, and we had to take it 1 week at a time. And middle of the season, we were 7-1 at one point. Then we ran into a tough American Heritage team, and then the Inlet Grove following that. So we ended the season 7-3, not knowing where we were going to be playing, not knowing if we was going to travel or host at all. And we just took it and said, you know what, the new season starts now. And we started to play our best football over the last 3 weeks and got to a place where we wanted to be. And we knew if we was going to get to the dance, we was just going to leave it all out there and see how the chips was going to fall. So I'm extremely proud of this senior class from their freshman year on, and having going out on top and wanting to do so and achieving that.
Being able to run a two back set. We spoke about it early right before the season. I was talking to you about offensive game plan and stuff like that. You told me immediately, hey, I don't know if you know this, but we got two elite running backs, Gideon and RJ Wilkerson, who are going to blow up this year. Both of them being 1,000-yard rushers, Gideon with just over 1,000, RJ with 1,100 yards. Um, let's talk about what was it like being able to just always have a guy with fresh legs on the field.
Well, we knew early on in games we wanted to feature both of those guys to kind of settle down Shay McMillan early in the just to start the game. So we would run the ball and throw those quick outlet routes to our senior wide receiver Gage Baldwin and also Caden Alula, and now get those guys going, open up those running lanes. But we knew at any point of the game, we could lean and depend on those two guys to just bring it home. So Gideon is more of a slasher that can also line up at receiver, and RJ is a bruiser, but he can also do those little things and make those decisive cuts and get those long runs every now and then. So being that we have both of those guys, we can start the game off with Gideon, sprinkle in a little RJ, and then the RJ could finish it off because he's a little heavier, like 10 pounds heavier than Gideon. He can finish it off and be that bruiser in that third and fourth quarter when teams start to get tired. And that's one of the things we kind of we depended on late in the season, and that wear and tear, they felt it or towards the end of the season, but we knew they were going to be fresh for a playoff run and a championship run at that.
I want to talk quarterback play. Shea McMillan, 29 touchdowns on the year, absolutely balled out his senior season. How did you see him step into the role as Jupiter Christian starter, step into the program, and just immediately become a leader and lead the squad to a state title win?
I'll say this, man, and we've had a ton of great quarterbacks that came through Jupiter Christian, and oftentimes they make the decision to leave, and I support them. When Shea came in not only to play football, but he wanted to be in a Christian environment. He comes in, and this is a young man that's on fire for God, and it was his faith first. He led by his faith. He was a leader from day one. He asked a lot of the locker room. He demanded a lot of his teammates in the locker room, and he never wavered. He's not one of those kids that he was not putting in the work. He was the first in the weight room, and he was the last one to leave the weight room. First on the field, last one to leave. He was leader in sprints, and when we were down at halftime 28-14, he made his voice heard in the locker room at that time. So he's a leader, man. He's a kid that wanted to win, and he came there with a purpose and a goal, and he achieved every single one of those goals. And I'm proud of him. We have one more thing to do, and that's to get him a college scholarship at any level I possibly can and get him an opportunity to play at the next level. He's playing in the Palm Beach County All-Star game, so I'm just happy for this young man and everything that he has done in this one season being at Jupiter Christian.
One of your youngest stars on this squad. You call him Luke Beach, but that dude's an island out in the secondary. 5 picks on the year. Can we talk about how you guys have the no-fly zone? You guys have the island out in Luke Beach.
Well, Luke Beach, we call him Sandman, man, because it's Luke Beach. It's kind of cool. He's Sandman. He's on the island, man. He plays with a lot of charisma. You don't get much out of him. He doesn't say much. But this is a kid that's been having a great career. He has 5 interceptions this year, 4 last year. Had an opportunity to probably get another 3 or 4 this year that he dropped. And he's probably kicking himself in the butt right now when he gets the opportunity to listen to this. But he's a special kid. He had a 2-point conversion in the championship game that boosted us ahead, that made it a little bit more difficult for St. Joseph when they was getting closer to scoring. I'll tell you this, is a special one that has Division I talent. He's gonna have an opportunity to play at the next level if he wants to. But this is a kid away from football. You can catch him on his boat fishing. That's what he does with his downtime. He doesn't think about football when he's away from the game. But when he's out there, he's one of the best on the field and one of the best in our program.
I gotta ask, like you said, you guys were down at halftime. What 28-14 at halftime? What was said in the locker room by you, your staff? We spoke about what Shea did at halftime, but what was the calming words that you said to the team of, hey, we're built for this. We've been in this situation before. Now it's time to go out and execute.
I think for us, we needed to talk as a staff. The boys was excited, and they were using a lot of energy in the first half because they was excited to be in the state championship game. The fans was rocking, the stadium was rocking, and all the excitement of getting there. I think there was a lack of focus on some of the small details of the game, and we told them. And this opportunity in the first half, we could have scored, or we had a big play. But because we didn't do our job, if it was 1 or 2 players, we didn't score. So if we start doing the little things right and we settle down and we just do our job as coaches, as players, everyone that was involved in the scheming, that we were going to be all right. We just needed to chip away at it. We knew that we were getting the ball, and if we got a quick score, now we're down by a touchdown with a lot of football left to be played with 24 minutes left. And that's what ended up happening. We didn't score on our first possession, but we got a 3-and-out from them, and then we scored on our second possession after the half. And we knew right then and there that we were going to make a run, and the fans was going to be behind us. We just needed to continue to play Jupiter Christian football, and that's what we did in the second half.
Your two offensive stars really were shining in the state championship. Gideon with 2 rushing touchdowns, Caden Alula with 2 receiving touchdowns, RJ Wilkerson with a rushing touchdown. Gideon and Caden were named as the game MVPs via New Era Prep. How important was it, as far as game plan, is to just have like a diverse offense where not playing complementary football? That's the first. Being able to go out and dominate the run, dominate in the air, and all in all, just make this thing a state championship like come to life.
Well, anyone that knows me knows I'm a pass-happy guy, and I want to throw the ball first, but it's a little different this year. We had 2 guys in the backfield that are special, and we leaned to the run a lot. We had over 2,000 yards rushing on the ground this year as a team, but we had close to 2,000 yards passing as well. But if you saw our games, oftentimes the ball would be on the ground, and then Shea had his moments where he had some games like Avant-Garde. He had a 6-touchdown game, and the ball was in the air. So it decided on the games and how it was going and the flow of the game. But for us, it was all about getting those guys going early. RJ, Gideon, and Caden Alula, and knowing that we could rely and depend on those guys in times of need and situations that we needed for one of those guys to step up to make plays. And so I tip my hat off to St. Joseph. St. Joseph did an amazing job trying to force us to throw, and we found ways to continue to run. They didn't want to get Gideon and RJ going, and they did, but we had to be creative. I had to be creative as a play caller and to get those guys going in different areas in the pass game and then go back to the run game. So hats off again to St. Joseph. They was amazing with their game plan, but we just found ways in the second half, and we made our adjustments to be successful offensively to be victorious in the end.
What was the biggest thing, especially with like taking what the game was giving you? What was the biggest adjustment that you guys did make?
I think the biggest adjustment was to be patient in the pass game. They were doing a good job of sending 5 or 6, and they were sending exotic blitzes and some of the stuff that we hadn't seen on film before. We seen it from other teams, but we wasn't expecting them to do it, and they were doing it early on, and it was giving us some problems. And we knew when we got to halftime, we could make those adjustments to help Shea out, and we just kind of slowed the game down for Shea and also for the receivers, and we went to our quick pass game, and that's what allowed Shea to make some throws and some opportunities that he had in the second half that allowed Alula to shine, that allowed Gideon to shine in the pass game, that opened some things up for Luke Beach underneath as well. And that's what got us going offensively in the second half.
If you look at your guys' max preps, pretty much every player on your roster has more than one position listed. Outside of your quarterback, obviously, we got to keep him healthy at all costs. But what does it mean
Yes,
to
sir.
you to be a head coach of a team of players that are valuable on both sides of the ball and have potential to excel at both sides of the ball, and you know that, hey, when a game comes down to a close one like this, our guys are conditioned and ready to go?
Well, when I got to Jupiter Christian, I started off with 19 guys in the locker room and spring football in 2019. And as the now we're at 86 in the program now. I have 51 on varsity and 35 on middle school. I can tell you this: you have to be versatile. You have to be able to play both multiple positions. You have to be flexible, and meaning that you can play multiple positions, and you don't know when your number is going to be called. So, being that those guys are good at multiple, it helps us. We have 51 guys on the roster, and out of 51, 30 of them, not saying the JV guys and the young guys, 30 of them can play multiple positions and be solid. And that's another thing that I love being at a small school. Guys that they're able to get recruited as an offensive player, defensive a player and also a special team guy. You're not just honed in on the position. You see, running
Did I lose
back,
you?
linebacker, or offensive lineman, defensive lineman, whatever it is, you have to. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're jumping in and out a little. If we want to circle it back a little bit, especially towards the middle part, I personally you cut out on my end a little.
Can
You hear me
Can you
now?
hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
I can. Okay, I got you. I just said for my program when I first started out at Jupiter Christian 6 years and that March spring football of 2019. And I knew those guys had to be willing to go both ways and also play special teams. They had to be contributors in special teams as well. As the program continued to grow, we're at 86 kids now in our program. We have 51 on varsity and 35 on middle school. Being able, having the luxury to be playing both sides, you can be good as a receiver, a defensive back, running back, linebacker, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, but you could also get recruited at both sides of the ball. So you have enough film on both sides of the ball, and I think that's what makes it special, being at a small school and playing those multiple positions. Now, at times, we have to be creative as coaches and practice making sure we get both of the sides of the ball taught and also special teams, but I love the fact that they're able to play on the offensive side and defensive side and contribute on both sides of the ball.
And then one of my last questions I do got for you. You're a member of one of the more prestigious coaching trees around South Florida, being a one of the many branches in the Coach Chris Coquel coaching tree. Being able to learn from him over the years and then be able to take over a program like Jupiter Christian. What was the biggest things that you learned from Coach Coquel as a younger coach?
I would tell you this: he gave me an opportunity in '07 when I was a 24-year-old young man, and that's when I started my coaching journey at Boca Raton High School as a JV coach. He gave me an opportunity to be his offensive coordinator at a young age, and I had to learn from the many ups and downs. I traveled with him to St. John Paul, and I've been on this journey ever since for 16 years now. It's been fun. I've learned a lot from him, just being patient. I'm a player's coach through and through. You have to discipline these young men, but you also have to love on them. And I learned that from him, man. He loves on his players. He also disciplines. He rules it with it like an iron fist. And if he has to crack down on the players, he does. And if he needs to love on them, he loves on them. And those are the ways to get those young men to play for you. They have to know that you are true, and they can trust you, and you're always going to be there for them. And that's something that Coach Coquel always done and showed us at an early age, getting in this coaching game. That's something that I continue to do now as a coach of Jupiter Christian, and I appreciate him for that. And I'm just proud of the journey we on, and we're still close as we are as coaches. Even though he's coaching at another school, we talk every single day, and we throw our game plan. We talk about players and all different things, and it's just been great to see the growth in all those years.
With that being said, especially about being a player's coach, one of the biggest consensus around guys that have come through your program, whether they graduated or moved on to a different program, is Coach Baz is the best coach I've ever had. Those are direct quotes. I can attest to it as well. What does that say about you and your coaching style, especially being able to love up on the guys, and always be there for them, regardless if they're wearing your logo or a different school's logo?
Well, I'll always say this: my motto is beyond the whistle, and that's something that I preach to myself every year, every season. It's not about just football; it's beyond the whistles to make sure that these young men, when they leave my program, that they're better young men, they're better adults, young adults. They're going to be amazing husbands. They're going to be uncles, grandparents, something to fathers. They're going to be all those things someday. So when they leave my program, they have the values, the core values, to just stand up on their 2 feet and know that they can be something in themselves and to see something in themselves as well. So it's all about loving on them. And if they do the little things right and they take care of the details, the small details, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna win as many football games as they want. It's about my practice. We joke around, we kid around, we get hurt. But I'm gonna be kids. I'm joking. And they know when it's time, when it's showtime, I'm going to be hard on them. But at the end of the day, I'm going to love on them. I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to cry with them if something's going on. I have an open door policy, and I'm still in touch with them now. George Shepard, who was a quarterback at Santa Lucia's, left after his 8th year. Champ Smith is a quarterback, going to be a 4-star here that has multiple rivers. We still take to this day. And Hudson champion. We still text to this day. It's not about just me. It's about them and the that they have left and where they're going. And I just want to continue to cheer them on, whether they're in my program or not.
With that being said, being able to have ties all around the county and all around South Florida, really, one of the biggest things that we saw on social media, especially Saturday, was Palm Beach County as a whole, the greater South Florida area as a whole, rallying around Jupiter Christian football on their quest for a SSAA State Championship. As the coach of this program, what does it mean to you to look on social media and see coaches and players from Somerset Canyons, from Kings, from St. Andrews, and every other school in Palm Beach, either wishing you best of luck, interacting with all the different stuff on social media, or providing congratulations?
Can you hear me, Kristen?
Yeah, could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think for me, the number one thing was to get back to my phone because I never have it on me during the game. Was to see 179 missed text messages, um, of unread text messages. I had over 200 notifications on Twitter. To be able to see all of that, receiving text messages from the GOAT himself, Jack Daniels, from Coach Tyrone Higgins, from Coach Gonzalez from Somerset Canyons, my guy, from Coach Coquel was there in person reporting, from all Joe Molina, from John Carroll, from all these guys, my college head coach. That's what made me proud. Again, it's never about me. It's about the work that the boys put in. But for once, I was able to sit down and take it all in and have a big smile on my face and feel like, you know what, man, you're doing something right. So I'm just happy about all of that. And I'm excited for the program and the direction it's going, the administration that supports us, the athletic staff in itself. My president, hats off to him. Our cheerleading crew is one of the best in the county. So I'm just excited of all that. And just, I know on my journey, it's not done yet. I have a lot of years ahead of me of coaching high school football, college, wherever the Lord takes me. But I'm just proud of everyone, my coaching staff, and everyone that had their hand on this journey. And I just want to say thank you to them.
Being a part of this program for the past 6 years now, if we take a trip down memory lane to the first day Coach Baz stepped foot in at the facilities of Jupiter Christian, where have you seen this program grow the most?
I would say in numbers, we again starting out with 19 to now have 86 in the program. I think more kids are participating and coming out to play football, and I think it's because that they trust me. I think they trust me and they see me in the hallways. I am a middle school PE teacher from 5th grade to 8th grade, so a lot of these guys I taught them, my seniors, when I was there when I first started off. They was in 7th grade, and to now see them now, I was their teacher back in 7th grade. So it's like it's a brotherhood. It's seeing those kids when they're in middle school go through the program and having our own feeder system. I would say the numbers have grown in a substantial way, and seeing that come about has been amazing. And also seeing the culture itself. We don't have to hold ourselves accountable to a kid that is, they want to go somewhere else. If they want to go somewhere else, go ahead and go. I don't care who that young man is. I'm going to love on you from a distance, even when you leave my program. But you're not going to hold us. you're not going to hold us at a standstill where we're crying and worried about you leaving the program. We're going to show you in return that we could achieve the same goal if you were there or not. And again, I'll cheer them on when they go, but for me, it's all about what I have in front of me and worrying about what's in my locker room. So that's one of the things that I love the most is I don't worry about kids if they tell me they're gonna leave or if their parents tell me they want to leave. I just say, man, good luck, and I hope it all works out, and that's it.
My last question for you is: off season is upon us, my friend. You finally get a day off. You finally get a day off. What are you doing with this newfound free time?
Well, you say I get a day off, but my daughter plays middle school girls basketball. I'm actually the head coach for them. I haven't been there. The varsity girls coach has been stepping in because after our championship run. So today I had middle school girls basketball practice, and we have a game. So right now,
Oh, he is in
and
Galveston.
I started in recruiting trip. I'll hit the recruiting trail and try to help out all of my guys get recruited, the ones that want to play college football, and go from there. So the work never ends, man. The work never ends, and then we'll start hitting the off season to get ready for our next championship run.
Amen, Coach. Last question for you before I let you go. What size ring do you wear?
Listen, it's been a long time since I've been married for 14 years, so it's been a long time since I got a ring. So we're gonna all get resized somewhere here in the next week or so. The whole entire team, support staff, coaches, and everything like that. So I'll be able to answer that probably in a week or two when we make our decision on what rings do we want.
Yes, sir. Make sure you tag me in that tweet as always, because you guys are very good at blowing up my notifications on Twitter. But yeah, I want to see Christian. I wear an 11 and a half ring or something like that.
I appreciate you, Kristen, for your time, man.
What finger are we thinking? We going pinky ring? We pimping it, or we go? Where are we thinking?
Hey, listen, it's either pinky ring or index finger, middle finger. I don't know, man. Whatever fits, whatever looks the nicest. Or I'll just put it on my necklace or something like that. I'll just rock it like that. Who knows?
I like it. But Coach, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you tuning into the show.
Hey, thank you, Kristen, for your time, and thank you for just reaching out and all the coverage that you've done for us over the entire season and all season, and we greatly appreciate it, my friend.
We appreciate you, Coach. Congratulations on the win again.
Thank you,
It's been more than deserved.
thank you, man. I appreciate it. You have a good evening.
You too, Coach.
Thank you. See you.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We just heard from the one and only state champion, Coach Baz from Jupiter Christian. Um, he's getting the middle finger ring sized. I like it. Hey, everybody! I got a state championship. Look at it, and it's right up on that middle finger. I love it. But Coach Baz, thank you for tuning into the show. Congratulations on the win. Once again, it is more than earned, more than deserved. There is nobody better than Coach Baz and the staff at Jupiter Christian. Absolute top to bottom across the program. Great people. So yeah, I do want to just once again congratulate Coach Baz for the win. Had a little bit of a recruiting update as the show went on that I do want to talk about, especially because it comes with one of our seniors. Congratulations to Atlantic High quarterback Lincoln Graff for receiving a verbal official offer to Kaiser University. Link G, like I said a little earlier in the show, 100 career touchdowns. We spoke to him earlier in the year. Absolute dog. What a great kid, man. One of the hardest working people that I know. That offer is more than deserved. Congratulations, Lincoln, on drop node this fine Monday evening. Last thing I do want to talk about is elephant in the room as it comes to FAU related stuff. Yes, I saw the news. FAU has relieved Coach Tom Herman of his duties. Coach Chad Lunsford is the interim head coach for the remaining 2 games of the season. Positive note, Coach Rock is back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy about this. Former Owls defensive coordinator Rock Bellantoni is back with the program after getting fired last week. Quickest unemployment ever. Congrats, my friend, Coach Rock. Very happy to have you back. I know you had one weekend with the family, got a weekend off, and then you're like, I need to get a job again. But in all seriousness, very happy for you and for the family being able to stay in paradise for the foreseeable future. FAU currently holds the second highest recruiting class in the AAC for the class of 2025. Me and Robbie, we're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow on the La Stella Report. Did just want to mention it because it happened only a couple hours ago. Pretty breaking news. Yes, all 4 Division I FBS Owls head coaches are no longer with their programs. FAU, Temple, Rice, and Kennesaw State have all relieved their Owls head coaches of their duties. And yes, you heard that right. 3 AAC schools are named the Owls. Very, very annoying during head-to-head matchups, tournaments, and media days. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're winding down on our time here. If you missed it, we broke down everything that you missed this past weekend on the high school football circuit. And then just now, we got off the call with Coach Baz from Jupiter Christian following his SSAA State Championship victory. Talked a little bit about FAU for 45 seconds, but it happened. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the show. As always, I really appreciate you guys trying to figure out a time slot for the Hurricane Watch tomorrow because I'm trying to get into the prolific prep Miami-Columbus matchup at FAU tomorrow. Definitely not going to sneak into the LE. I don't know what anybody's talking about. Genesis, if you're watching, no, I'm not sneaking in. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in once again. Tune in definitely Wednesday afternoon, 5:30 p.m. Myself and probably Dan, he said he's down to come on. We're going to talk about the remaining high school slate for this weekend's upcoming slate of games. I'm your host, Christian Proscia. I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. See you Wednesday.